We talk about data in motorsport all the time. F1 teams are obsessed with it. Why? Because as racers, the more you measure and the more you record, the more you understand, the more you improve, and the quicker you go. Using data is the difference between acting on a hunch, just guessing, and knowing for certain. But what is this data? What's it measuring? How much of it is there? And how is it being stored and secured?
There are over 200 sensors on each Formula One car, and they measure pretty much anything you can, from the driver's inputs, the throttle, the brakes, the gears, the steering. The engine is full of sensors to make sure that it's running right, the energy recovery system, and even the front wings. There are sensors measuring the aero loads on this front wing to see if they've broken anything off and affecting the car's balance. Each car generates 1,500 data points per second.
And all that data tells the teams what the driver is doing and how the car is responding. Get those two at as close to 100% of their potential as possible, and then you can definitively say that you've got the most out of your car engine driver package.
I use it mainly for my driving purposes. So first of all, and the most important is performance, no? The speed that I am doing in the corners versus the speed that Charles is doing in the corners. So I can see who is doing each corner faster. That I would say nowadays it's become a lot of the tire management era, no? So you know how to treat the tire in a better way thanks to the sensors that we have in the tires, how hot they get depending on the driving style. And this is probably the most useful one recently that I discovered.
But all this data would be a treasure trove to a rival team or some other external threat who wanted to interfere or corrupt Ferrari's progress. So it's got to be protected.
10 years ago, Ferrari teamed up with Kaspersky to manage and secure their data. And while the world of ones and zeros is as mind-boggling as you'd expect, the amount of data captured isn't as much as you might think. But it is fiendishly complicated.
First of all, because there is a lot of data that has to be stored. We are speaking about more than 400 gigabytes for a race weekend. Then there is a lot of people that needs the data, so it needs to be easy to access, it needs to be fast, it needs to be redundant, and needs to be secure.
Kaspersky is one of the most world expert in data protection. The data is one of the most important assets, especially in a team, a company such like us, which is innovation, technical driven. So the amount of data is so important, so many, that they need to be protected somehow and to be managed. So it's a great partnership, key for us, because it's one of the most important assets of the company and the Scuderia.
It's crazy to know that every time I'm running, first of all, there's like 60, 70 people back in Maranello analyzing all the data live. A lot of engineers here analyzing all that data live. And then it gets stored and it's analyzed for 2 weeks to keep finding performance and keep finding reliability things.
Ferrari also need to secure their non-racing related data. Other teams in the paddocks have had their car launches hacked and their new cars revealed ahead of time. So securing websites and email communications is also vital.
The security part is really important. We have a big collaboration with Kaspersky that has reviewed all our computer, all our system, because there are different systems that are working in Ferrari, and they basically are integrated with us, and they put this security stuff in all the data, in all the computer that we have.
The boffins at Kaspersky are constantly updating their defenses to these threats so that Ferrari can do what they do best, getting on with the racing.